What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of Married at First Sight, Season 18, Episode 18, New Love is in the Air. So we are still at that scene where everybody had gotten together after decision day and they're at some type of a bar, lounge type place. And we're at the part where Madison was telling the group, and Michelle wasn't within the group at that particular time because she was at the bar getting something to drink. So Madison is telling the group, why would she even be upset, referring to Michelle, because she didn't even want David. So when Michelle heard her name, she comes in and she joins them and she basically confronts Madison and says, look, the issue that I have with you is that you were my friend. I confided in you and you lied to me. You've been lying to me the whole entire time. And of course, Madison is going to play stupid. Madison is going to play dumb and act like she has no idea what Michelle is talking about. Like, what do you mean I lied to you? I never lied to you. Well, the fact that this woman was confiding in you about her issues with her marriage and the whole entire time you're boinking her husband, yeah, you didn't have to necessarily come out and say it, but you were lying to her. You were deceiving her because she thought that you were a friend. And the whole time you were just the enemy. You were the ops sleeping with her husband, the same husband that she's complaining about. So, how are their issues ever going to be fixed if he's having a whole affair with you and the wife is complaining to you about her issues with? So Madison's going to play stupid. So they kind of go, back and forth a little bit. And what is up with Madison's makeup? Like, what was going on with that heavy, heavy, heavy makeup? Was she like thinking to herself, well, they're going to think I'm the devil, so I'm going to play the part and look the part of the devil? I didn't understand what was going on with her makeup. She looked scary. So Michelle was really trying to focus on the fact that they were friends and her trust was betrayed by Madison as friends. And Michelle kept on focusing on the fact that you were my friend. Madison wanted to focus on, well, what do you care what David was doing? Because you didn't want him. So why did you care if somebody else wanted him? She wanted to focus on that. That is very secondary. That is not even the issue. The issue is you played like you were this girl's friend. And the whole time you're sleeping with her husband, trying to get to her husband. So anybody out there who is Madison's friend, hide your husband, hide your boyfriends. Okay. Because Madison is on the prowl. So Madison feels justified in doing whatever the hell she was doing because, Michelle didn't want David. Michelle didn't like David. So she feels justified in it. So the two of them get up and they leave. And as they're leaving, you can hear Madison just cackling. She's laughing like a schoolgirl, loud enough for everybody to hear on purpose, of course, because she wants to make it seem as if she's just not bothered. Like she feels so good with herself and she can sleep at night because she didn't think she did anything wrong. So she's acting extremely immature. And it's like every single scene from the wedding until now, I have liked Madison less and less and less and less and less and less. And she's absolutely doing nothing to redeem her reputation, her character. She's just gonna wallow in it. She's like, you know what? Hey, this is what it is. This is what they think of me. So what? I don't care. So when Madison and David walk by this boxing ring within the establishment, she says to David that she could take Michelle on in the ring or something. So immature. Okay, so now let's get into the nitty gritty. So we're done with that scene. I want to focus now for a little bit on my girl M. So when it comes to Imam, where do we even begin? So when we see Imam, she's getting ready to go out on a date. And she's going on a date with this guy named Brandon, whom she had met back in junior high. She said fifth or sixth grade. She said that they had one class together. They really didn't know each other back then. And then after that, they went their separate ways and she hasn't seen him since. But she has reconnected with him through social media. I think he reached out to her, but I'm not sure. So they're reconnected again through social media. And I guess they decided to meet up for a date. And when they met up, he's telling her his backstory. He says that he's been married for 10 years. He's going through a divorce, which I felt like he said, I could be wrong, but I think he said that he had just filed or was about to file for divorce. So it seems like this is fresh. This whole divorce thing with him is very, very fresh. So either he's just filed or he's going to file for divorce after being married for 10 years, and they have two kids together. Him and his estranged wife have two kids together. Em talks about what she went through with Ikechi, how emotionally abusive Ikechi was to her, calling her names, treating her bad, and that she's also going through a divorce. But her divorce with Ikechi has yet to be finalized as well. Okay. So he's a firefighter. He's also in real estate. And he said that he is currently living with his sister while I guess he's trying to get himself together after him and his wife separated. Okay. So right then and there, I was like, these two, it's cool. They're meeting, they're finding comfort in one another, they're trying to move on from their horrible relationships. Totally understand that. I get it. And I'm thinking to myself, as long as they take it real slow, they can be there for each other, lean on each other, cry on each other's shoulders as they're going through this process, and really support each other in this process because they're going through very similar things. Of course, his is a little bit more intense. But as long as they take it slow, I'm cool with it. As long as they take it real slow, they're really starting off more as friends than anything else, and just be a support system for one another. I have no issues with that, right? Okay, cool. So later on, we see M, Camille, and Carla. They all meet up at M's apartment, and M is telling them about her new man. And she tells them, in fact, he's going to be showing up later to take me out on a date. So Brandon shows up. She introduces Brandon to Camille and Carla. They like him instantly because he is a huge upgrade to Ikechi when it comes to physicality. A huge upgrade to Ikechi. So Brandon tells them that the last 2 years for him have been absolute hell. He's been living in like total darkness, and M is his light at the end of the tunnel. And Carla asked him, "Is she your only light, or are you finding a source of light, like within yourself?" And I think he said that she is his only light. And so Carla kind of thought that was a red flag because, her thing is, he can't depend on M for his happiness. He has to find his happiness, his solace within himself. Okay, he has to work on himself. He can't just depend on her to make him happy. So she kind of saw that as a red flag, and I understood exactly where Carla was coming from. So Brandon and M, they leave for their date. Carla and Camille, they're left behind, and both of them expressed concerns about this because even though M told them that she's moving really slow with him, they still kind of felt like this was a little bit too soon, especially since who knows if her divorce with Ikechi is even finalized yet. He's going through his issues. So they were like, this is a little bit too soon. And they're both, carrying a lot of baggage. Has Imam really healed from what she's gone through with Ikechi? Has he really healed from whatever he's gone through after his 10-year marriage and two children? Has he, like, this is too much. Okay. This is like, what's going on here? So they're both a little bit concerned. Okay. So M so they have their date, and I think they met up at that was their second date. I think after their initial, that was their second date. So later on, M and her cousin meet up, and she's telling her cousin, this is the same cousin that had grilled Ikechi at the wedding, and he had figured Ikechi out in like 5 minutes. So she's telling her cousin about Brandon. The cousin is very familiar with who Brandon is, because they went to the same schools or lived in the same neighborhood or whatever. I don't know, but he is familiar with who Brandon is. And he tells Em, look, as long as you're taking it slow, I have no issues with it. As long as you're taking it slow and you're being cautious, I have no issues with it. So then Brandon comes and joins them. And when the cousin began to grill Brandon, I remember him saying in that scene something about how the similarity between Brandon and Ikechi was that they know how to use their words to manipulate. Not, he didn't say it in that way, but he was like, you know what, I just got done with Ikechi, and he was like a wordsmith, and it seems like you're also a wordsmith. He was kind of peeping something in Brandon, right? At the end of the day, the cousin gives his blessings, and he only gives his blessings because he's reassured that they're going to be taking it slow, that they're not going to be rushing into this. But as soon as the cousin leaves the restaurant, Brandon proposes to Imam in that same restaurant. The cousin, he's not even gone 5 minutes, and Brandon proposes to Imam right then and there in that restaurant. And I was just like, M, Don't do this. Don't do this. This man is not ready to take on a damn wife. He doesn't have his own place. He's going through a divorce. He's got to deal with child support, custody. I don't know if he's got to deal with alimony. You don't know what his finances are looking like. Don't do this, M. But of course, she says yes. And he proposes without a ring. So let me tell y'all something. When I saw this scene, the fact that he proposed without a ring, the fact that he proposed like spontaneously, they were interviewing him. He was being interviewed, giving his little confessional. And right then and there, he was like, I guess he told them to call M back in. And then he proposed to her. So this whole entire scene to me, I'm sorry, y'all. It was very performative. I felt like Brandon was just playing it up for the cameras. Like Brandon found a girl who's on a television show and he was going to milk it for whatever he could get out of it. I really felt like Brandon was just performing for the cameras. I don't think that there's any sincerity or any genuineness in this at all. Now, as I'm recording this right now, the after party is on, and I'm not watching it now, but I'm going to watch it later. And Emma's supposed to be at that after party. So right now, I'm expressing a lot of concern with Brandon, right? So maybe not Ikechi, but maybe Imam is right now talking to Keisha Napoleon and giving a little bit more information to make all of this make sense. I'm hoping that she's saying something right now as I'm talking into this camera, that she's saying something to reassure us that this is okay. Okay, and another thing. Last week when I reviewed the show and I had seen the little snippet that they gave us of Brandon proposing to Amem, I had said, I hope she's not doing this just to get back at Ikechi, because Ikechi isn't worth all of this. He's not worth her trying to prove something to him. So I'm hoping that she's not doing this because she just wants to rub it in Ikechi's face that she's moved on and now she's got a man, and even if he didn't want her, somebody else did. And somebody in my comment had said, well, this is someone from her past. And so the way that they were explaining it was like, hey, it's not like it's some dude that she met off the street. This is someone that she's known. So I thought that when I read that comment, I thought that they were implying that M and Brandon had some type of dealings with one another in their adult life at some point in the past. Like they dated before, then they reconnected. That's what I thought, that they had some type of relationship, that there were some feelings, some unresolved feelings that they could have still had for one another. And that's why it was easy for them to spark it back up. And that's why it was easy for him to propose, because they had dated before, that they were involved in some long-term relationship or had some heated love affair, and there were still some lingering feelings that they had for one another. And so when they both were free, I guess, not really, because he's still technically married, but when they were both, ending their relationships, they were rediscovering these feelings for one another, and that's why they're reconnected, and that's why he proposed. But coming to find out, it wasn't like they dated in the past. They had a class together when they were in the 5th or 6th grade. So in my eyes, they're practically still strangers to each other and have no business being engaged. Have absolutely no business being engaged. Now, if they want to start off with dating, getting to know each other, taking it really slow, I support that 100%. But they have no business being engaged. And if you're going to have a long engagement because you still have to take care of divorces and all these other issues with your ex, what's the point of getting engaged now? Why don't you wait until all of that has been resolved, disposed of, finished, completely signed off, signed, sealed, delivered, divorce papers, judge put the stamp on it, it's over, it's done, and then you can propose to a man. Why do you have to do it right now? And why do you have to be so performative with it, like proposing to her right there on the spot in front of these cameras for this television show? Ciao. Okay, so the cousin gave his blessings, but like I said, I think the cousins gave his blessings under the pretense that they were going to be mature about this and take it slow. Okay. So when I saw this, I kind of was like, Lord, I hope that Ikechi is not right when he said that Imam is just looking, she basically just has a placeholder for a husband. And any Tom, Dick, or Harry can just fit in that placehold, and she's happy as long as there is a warm body next to her who can call himself husband, and Mem is happy. I hope it's not that. I hope it's not that. Moving on. So at some point, okay, they go and so later on when we see them again, they go to a jewelry store. And y'all, no shade to the jewelry store, but this wasn't like some high-end jewelry store. Okay. At first, y'all, Lord forgive me, I thought it was a pawn shop. But it was definitely a jewelry store, but it just wasn't your high-end type of jewelry store. Okay. So he takes her to the jewelry store and they're looking at rings. They are literally looking at rings. So when they find the ring that she wants, which was a very beautiful ring, he proposes again to her in the store because now he wants to do it official with the actual ring. And still, I thought it was performative. And still, I thought he was just doing this for the fact that there's cameras here and I'm going to put on a show. I really felt that way. I could be wrong. And probably everybody's going to tell me that I'm wrong. Oh, Cookie, they're really in love and he's really a great guy and they actually got married and they're so happy right now. I hope that's the case because I really do like a ma'am. I really do like her and I want the best for her. But I kind of see her as like she's like a desperate woman right now. Like she's so desperate to be in love and to find love and to be married that she's just willing just to take it wherever it comes in whatever shape or form that it comes in. She don't really care. And coming from a man who was so horrible to her, who left her alone most of the time, who was so dismissive of her, I can see her kind of like, really soaking all this attention up from Brandon. And I think that Brandon sees her as a vulnerable woman and that he's taken advantage of that. Okay, so he proposes again at the jewelry store, and I hope he paid for that ring himself. I think, like I said in my notes here, I wrote it again. I think Brandon is being very performative, and Amem tells us that she feels loved. She finally feels loved. And I'm like, Em, do you have the gift of discernment? Because she couldn't figure out Ikechi at all. When we all figured out Ikechi, we figured out Ikechi. I figured out Ikechi on the wedding day. I clocked him on the damn wedding day. And it took Imem forever and a day to figure out that this guy just really wasn't there for her. So does she even have the gift of discernment? And girl, what happened to your looks? Imam was on point with her appearance. She was on point with her appearance. She never felt like, what do they say? The face card never declines. M was on point. But now with this guy, I don't know what's going on with M. So she's engaged, y'all. So we're gonna put a little pause in that and pick them back up at Thomas's birthday party. But let's move on to these fools here, to these clowns, Madison and David. Shaw, Madison, and David. So when we see them together, David is they're at they are at the tattoo parlor, and David is going to get his tattoo covered up because he has a tattoo, I think, of an ex's name. And so he's finally going to get that covered up. And when he took off his damn shirt, because the tattoo is on his chest, this man took off his damn shirt. And y'all, I swear to God, I am not body shaming because I am not, the cover model for Vogue or anything like that. Okay. But I'm not on a television show exposing myself either. Okay, I'm keeping myself hidden behind this camera. When he took off his damn shirt, I was like, y'all were at the gym to the wee hours of the morning or whenever y'all were at the gym and creeping back home at 3 o'clock in the morning, talking about y'all were just working out. What the hell were you doing at the gym, David? Because you for sure were not working out. You for sure, you talk about going to the gym and you're this health nut and you love working out and you and Madison were meeting up at the gym and doing all this cardio and whatnot. What were you really doing at the gym? Because you obviously, David, you were not working out. That body looks like it hasn't seen the inside of a gym in about a decade. And Madison, girl, are you for real? I don't think I've seen Alan without a shirt, but I will bet anything that he's a little bit more fit than David. Madison, you gave up that tall, successful man with that deep voice who would have gone to the ends of the world for you. For this? For this? A man who can't dress, who can't get rid of that damn side pony. And I remember distinctly when Alan met with Madison's family, they told him, well, Madison is more into the pretty boys. Is she? Because what is this? To me, David looks like if you were hiking in the mountains and some mountain man crawled out of a cave and it was David, you wouldn't even be surprised to see him there because he would fit right in with the wilderness and all of that. He looks like a caveman. He looks like a mountain man. He looks like somebody who's been, living like a hermit in some cave somewhere. Moving on. So he's getting his tattoo covered up, and there was I forgot to mention this part. When they were still at the with the group gathering at the bar lounge place area after decision day, when Madison and Michelle had their confrontation. After the confrontation, when they were leaving, my what's his name? David had given Madison a kiss. And so in this particular scene with at the tattoo parlor, they talked about that kiss, I think. And he said something like, yeah, I was just trying to calm you down with that kiss or something like that. And I think they wanted to make it seem like that was the first time that they've ever kissed. And I'm like, Madison and David, y'all are together. Y'all's cheating ways have been exposed. Why do you still continue to lie? Why do you still want us to think that the first time that y'all ever expressed any type of feelings or attraction from one another was at the retreat? So when he kissed her at the bar lounge place, they want us to think that that was the first time that they've ever kissed. Anywho, Madison meets with her dad. She tells her dad that she's so stressed out, she's so full of anxiety because of the fact that she ended up connecting with another husband on the show. I don't know if she made it. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. But she tells her dad, I connected with another husband on the show. And I feel so bad about that and blah, blah, blah. And her dad is like, well, you did come here for a husband. I was like, excuse me? So the father was like, well, you came here for a husband and you found a husband, even though it wasn't your husband, it was somebody else's. So don't beat yourself up about it. That was the whole purpose. You came up here to meet someone, to make a connection, and you did, even though it was with another woman's husband. The dad kind of seemed like he was okay with this. He was like, hey, don't beat yourself up with that. And I'm like, okay, it all makes sense now. It all makes perfect sense why Madison is the way she is, taking no accountability at all and wants to play the victim. I was shocked to hear her dad basically tell her, yeah, don't worry about it. You're fine. You're good. So her dad tells her, don't beat yourself up about it. Madison questions if her feelings for David are even real, which I don't think they are. I don't think that Madison is really feeling David. I think that Madison is just going to go with it because she just wants to prove to everybody that she didn't do anything wrong, and that in order to justify them hurting Michelle and Alan, they have to make it look like this was meant to be and that this is real love. So she's going to continue to play the part that she's this happy girlfriend of David's, just to prove to people, hey, there was a reason why we did all of this. It wasn't just, for sex, which I think it was. It was because, we really love each other. We really have feelings for one another. But I don't think she has real feelings for David. There is no way that a person like Madison is going to stick with a guy like David. There is just no way. Now, I don't even care if they get married. I don't care if they even get married. It will be a marriage of unhappiness. They will forever be proving to people that this was all worth it because we found love with one another. We found love in each other. So it was all worth it. Because the whole time that they put Madison and David on camera, every time I see them, they're trying, especially Madison, she's like giggling and doing all of this forced smiling and this forced happiness to make it seem like she made the best decision of her life. And girl, we see right through it. You're not happy with that man. You are not. Have you seen his basement, Madison? Please, girl, tell me, have you seen his basement? Maybe now he got his own apartment or his own house by now. But have you seen where he was living? Madison, quite okay. So the dad basically says to her, you know, like I said before, you came up here to make a connection. You made a connection. Who cares if it was with somebody else's husband? Um, Moving on from there, Alan and Juan, they meet up. And Alan tells Juan that he has been exploring his freakier side. You know, he's been hooking up with women, you know, scratching that itch, releasing some tension because, yeah, he deserves to do it. He deserves it. Do whatever you got to do, Alan. As long as it's, you know, consenting adults, or you're not hurting anybody, and the girl that you're with, they know the what's up, they know what it is, go for it. I have no issues. I have no qualms with that. David and Madison. So they go out for ice cream and they're using the ice cream as a, I don't look, what is the word? Not a synonym, but the ice cream is supposed to be like a representative or represent their intimacy, because David said something like, "Oh, you know, you gave me some dessert this morning, and I love having dessert first thing in the morning. It was absolutely disgusting." Absolutely disgusting to hear them talk about their intimate life. It was disgusting. So they're going on and on about how they have, you know, this great sex first thing in the morning and all this other nastiness. And they're pretending that they just started having sex right now. Because Madison says, well, now that we've started being intimate, I feel a whole lot closer to you. Why do y'all continue to lie? So what were y'all doing until 3 o'clock in the morning if y'all weren't having sex? And Lord knows, looking at David's body, y'all were not even working out. What the hell were y'all doing until 3 o'clock in the morning? And let us not forget that the first night that Madison and Alan moved into their apartment, she left that man high and dry. She left him alone in that apartment their very first night to go sneak off with David. And these two dodo heads have no idea that the cameras that they had set up in their apartment, the show had set up in their apartments, shows them coming in at the same damn time. In the wee hours of the morning, they shows them both sneaking at the same damn time. What are y'all doing until the wee hours of the morning? Because you're not working out, you're not talking. What the hell are y'all doing? But you want us to believe that after y'all were exposed and everything, that y'all got intimate for the very first time after the retreat. David tells her that he wants to be more exclusive. He doesn't want them to see other people. And Madison says that she doesn't have a problem with that, but she doesn't want to feel smothered. She doesn't want to feel like, you know, she doesn't want to be with someone who's going to constantly nag her and question her where she is, because Madison's not done cheating. She ain't done cheating. Madison probably thrives on being unfaithful and infidelity. That's probably exciting to her. She's not done cheating. But she told him straight up, hey, but I don't need nobody nagging me and asking me where am I going and what am I doing and who am I going to go see. I don't want that. David and Madison go out for dinner for her 30th birthday party. And I don't know what kind of a restaurant this was. I don't know if it was high end or low end. I don't know. But David strolled in there with his side pony and looking just as average and just as casual and just as basic as you want to be, because Madison was all dolled up for her 30th birthday dinner. He was just looking like he was going to Walmart. She forces, so I'm thinking to myself, Madison, you force men to buy new wardrobes, you force men to fix their teeth with expensive Invisalign, but you can't do nothing about that man's side pony. You like that? That turns you on? That mop on his head? He orders her, I don't know what it was. I know nothing about alcohol because I don't drink. I know nothing about alcohol. This drink looked like an espresso martini. Okay, that's what it looked like to me. I don't know if that's what it was. And on the foam, they had written, I just want to eat you up. he had that made for her. And they thought that it was really funny and really cute. I felt like Madison was a little bit uncomfortable with it, but and it's just like, they're basically just like throwing it in everybody's face. So we don't give a damn what y'all think. Hell yeah, that text message was for another woman while I was still married to somebody else. And I'm going to put her on her espresso martini. And I think it's cute. I think it's funny, even though that hurt somebody else when they discover that you texted another woman that. He tells her that he's got something really special planned for her. And she asked him what. And he says, um, basically, bar hopping in a hotel, treating her like the blank she is. Bar hopping in a hotel. That's his special birthday plans for her. Bar hopping in a hotel. Their whole relationship revolves around sex. David and Madison, they get to the hotel and he surprised her with some. Look, I'm not gonna. Look, y'all. If someone is gonna. This is the hotel that you take her to. It had no balcony. It wasn't like a suite. At least you could have gotten her a damn suite, a hotel suite with a nice balcony, a view, a hot tub. You take her to some basic hotel, some basic Holiday Inn. And it's supposed to be special because there's a whole bunch of purple balloons. Madison, this is what you like. Because I know for a fact that if it was Alan who wanted to surprise her with a special birthday, he would have gone all out for her. And it wouldn't just be bar hopping in a hotel. He would have gone all out for her. But instead, you want to be with this caveman who takes you to dinner, which is fine. The food looked great. And then after that, he just took you to a couple of bars and then straight to the hotel. Get you all liquored up and straight to the hotel after that. So she tells us that David is the kind of guy that you look for your whole life. Why would you do that? Why would you be looking for a guy like David? Why are you looking for a guy like David? What is it about him that you feel like you need to? What? Man, I wouldn't be looking for. I'd just keep him on the missing poster. He tells her that he loves her, and she skipped a couple of beats, but then she told him the same thing. She said that she loved him as well. I'm not buying it. It's all performative. It's all fake. It's all phony. It's all forced. Thomas's birthday. The whole entire gang gets together. M shows up with Brandon. And M is, on cloud nine. She got herself a man. She's engaged. She is so happy. When she shows her engagement ring to Camille, when Camille sees the engagement ring, y'all, Camille's face said it all. Camille was actually trying to like hold back a laughter because she was probably thinking that this is a joke. This is hilarious. You can't be serious. They asked her if she's told her mom yet. M says no, she hasn't told her mom. Yeah, because you know damn well that your mom is going to read you the riot act if you tell your mom that you got engaged to a man after about 2 or 3 dates. A man who is still currently married, not yet divorced, 2 children, and sleeping on his sister's couch. Your friends are nice. They're not going to give it to you the way it needs to be given it to you. It needs to be given to you, M. But your mom is going to give it to you the way it needs to be given to you. And that's why you haven't told your mom yet. Like I said, she's on the after party. I don't know what she told Keisha Not Polium. Hopefully she said something that would explain all of this, that would make all of this make sense. Hopefully she says that, the divorce has been finalized with Brandon and we've already set a date. Hopefully that's what she told Ms. Polium. Michelle is concerned. She tells us that I think M is moving too fast. I agree, Michelle. M and Brandon announced their engagement to the whole entire gang that's there, to the whole party. And I was just thinking to myself, is this really the right place to announce your engagement? Because it is Thomas's birthday. But then again, it's still a TV show, right? And the show's got to go on. So before leaving, David has a few laughs. Before he left, because he said he had to go to work, David walks up to Michelle and says, "Can I have a word with you?" Michelle's like, "No, I'm good." And so he decides to talk to her anyway and basically apologizes to her about how everything went down. And she just really wasn't interested. Like, David, just go away. Until you start being 100% honest with what's really been going on, shut up. Just go away. Ikechi makes a grand appearance because, Ikechi likes to be the late queen because he thinks that, he wants all the attention on him. He wants all eyes on him. He's a whore for attention. So he walks in late as hell. He greets everybody except for M. He sees M and Brandon sitting together at the table. He sees them, but he completely bypasses them and he greets everybody else. But Brandon, who's also performative, who also likes attention, he was going to make his presence known. So he approaches Ikechi and he's like, "I'm Brandon." And they did this awkward greeting where Ikechi just wanted to do like a fist pump, but Brandon wanted to do like an actual handshake, and it looked all awkward and weird. So Brandon sits back down with the mem. A few minutes go by, I guess, but then he gets back up again and he approaches Ikechi again. Y'all are giving this man too much attention. He approaches Ikechi again and says, "I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm M's fiance." And Ikechi does what Ikechi does with anything regarding M. He's very dismissive. He's like, "Okay." Ikechi tells the group that he's not going to be staying long because he has a date. It is open season. That's what he said. M goes up to Ikechi and says, "Can I talk to you for a minute?" He's like, "Nope, not interested." So then she just decides to talk to him anyway in front of the group. I'm like, "Girl, why? 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 Why do you feel the need to tell this man any damn thing? He doesn't deserve it." So she goes on to say that, "I just want to apologize for how things went down between us, and I still care for you." I'm like, "Girl, what? No, he doesn't care. You're wasting your time and you're wasting your breath." Ikechi in his confessional tells us directly that he was right all along. That M just wanted a plug and play husband. And I never thought I would ever say these words, but I don't know. I think Ikechi might be right. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I don't know. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but it does seem like that. I want Imam to be happy. I want her to find whatever the hell she's looking for, but I want her to find it within herself, number one. And once she finds that true happiness and that true love within herself, then she can find it in the right person. I don't know if Brandon, with all of his issues, is the right person right now. Why do y'all have to rush? Why couldn't y'all just end on the note of, "Hey, we're dating. Okay, we're getting to know each other," and just end it like that? Why the engagement and the ring and the whole, why? Why? I don't think that she should be alone. I think it's great that she found companionship. And I think it's great that she found companionship in someone who's going through something similar. And once his divorce is final, and hers is final, then they can continue on from there. But until then, just keep it real simple, keep it real, like on a friendship basis. Because you never know. What if he wants to reconcile with his damn wife? So, Alan addresses Madison. He was like, "You try to reach out to me because you wanted to have a one-on-one. Really not interested in that." And so he said that he's just been doing him. He thought that he wanted to be a hoe, but he realized that it's not in him to be a hoe, and he would just rather wait for love. He would just rather wait for the right person to come along because that's when he is, at his best. He's gonna wait for what he actually wants. He's not gonna play the field just to try to bury his feelings in mindless sex. He wants to find the right person. He wants to make the right connection. He wants something with substance. And he wasn't necessarily talking directly to Madison. He was talking to the whole group because they're all like asking each other, "Where are you at now? Where are you at now?" Camille tells Alan that he deserves the world. And I totally 1,000% agree with her. He deserves the world. He really got the short end of the stick. The show did him dirty. The show did him wrong. I know they did not anticipate this woman cheating on him, but he was still done dirty. And hey, y'all, look, God sees all. That's all I can say. While this is going on, while Alan is giving his speech, M and Brandon are in the corner somewhere in their own little world making out. Thomas thanks Camille for his birthday party. He tells her that he loves her. I was waiting for her to say I love you too, but she didn't. But I think she said it to him before. I think she has said I love you to him before. But they're living together. Thomas and Camille are living together. They're really happy. He's doing the things that Camille wants him to do. So he is meeting her expectations. She said that she's even laughing at his bad jokes. And before, those jokes used to piss her off. Now she sees herself laughing at his jokes. So they're doing good. And Carla and Juan, they decided obviously to part ways. Juan asked Carla, hey, can we still remain friends? And Carla was like, I didn't come here to find a friend. So Carla's keeping her distance. She's trying to just dive into herself. And I totally get it. And I totally agree with her. Keep your distance. I think that Carla really was, she really was like the MVP. I enjoyed Carla a lot. She was fun. She was funny. She was on the right side of history when it came to this whole Madison and Davis situation. She gave great advice. She was a good friend. I really did enjoy Carla. I enjoyed her as well, but I don't know. Her decision making skills are concerning. Her decisions in men is extremely concerning. She didn't decide Ikechi. She didn't choose Ikechi. He was chosen for her, but when he showed his whole entire, she didn't see it. She still couldn't figure it out, and so now she's with this dude over here. I don't know, y'all. I'm gonna watch the after party to see what Imam has to say about Brandon. If she says anything groundbreaking, I might come back later for a follow-up video. Hopefully I'll come back. If I do come back, hopefully it'll be to say, hey y'all, Brandon got his divorce and him and MM are still together. And yeah, I don't know, y'all. I'm so tired. This show is 3 hours long. 3 hours. 3 hours long. It's unnecessary. So I'm doing the best I can. Thank you so much, y'all, for joining me. I really do appreciate it. Next week, we have the reunion. That's going to be interesting. I'm ready for this season to be over because it was just too much. It was way too much. Like I said, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to rate the video on your way out. If you like this content, subscribe to my channel, and I'll definitely talk to you later.